This is the Pinterest hack that you didn't know you needed. Today, I'm going to introduce you to Tailwind's brand new feature called SmartPin. By the end of this episode, you're going to learn how to use the SmartPin feature so that you can start saving hours of your time while still following Pinterest best practices when it comes to marketing for your business. Now, in today's video, I am going to give you a step-by-step tutorial for how to utilize the SmartPin feature. But before we go any further, I want to give you a little bit more context about why this new feature is important and how it's going to be helpful with your Pinterest marketing strategy in 2025 and beyond. So for some background context, Pinterest underwent a pretty major algorithm change. I believe it was in 2020 or 2021. And with this major algorithm change, they were really pushing for fresh content. So in order to put the user experience first, they wanted content creators to be creating new pins consistently so that when Pinterest users come to the platform, they're not seeing the same tired pins over and over again, but they're consistently seeing fresh content, fresh ideas. Because that's why Pinterest users come to the platform. They want ideas and they want to feel inspired. And if you're seeing the same ideas over and over again, that doesn't feel super inspiring, right? So one thing that was a huge push and change for content creators was creating these fresh pins, because previously people could kind of get away with pinning things over and over again, and this started to really become not the best practice. So when we're thinking about fresh content, this is something that kind of, I don't want to say is debatable, but people get confused about is probably a better way to put it. So when people are thinking about fresh content, or Pinterest creators are thinking about fresh content, there's really two ways that we can look at this content. So one type of fresh pin would be a new pin design, so a new pin and a new URL, whether you've created a new landing page, a new product, a new blog post, a new YouTube video. All of those would be examples. If you've never shared that URL to Pinterest, that would be a new URL. Now, another type of fresh pin would be a new pin design, so one that's never been shared on Pinterest, but directing back to a URL that's already been shared on Pinterest. So for example, I have a free secret podcast for people who are thinking about becoming a Pinterest manager. And this is really evergreen content, meaning that it's something that isn't seasonal. I can share this again and again, and I consistently want to be pushing people to my secret podcast because it's an amazing way for people who are thinking about becoming Pinterest managers to learn a lot more information for free in regards to this type of business model and if they want to get started. I already have multiple pins that are linking back to that secret podcast, but instead of going into Pinterest and repinning those same pins again, what I can do is actually create fresh pins for that secret podcast. So SmartPin is essentially a way to create fresh pins for your evergreen content so that you can consistently be pushing traffic to those places on your website where you want to drive traffic. So for me, that's my secret podcast, it's my live training, also my blog posts. I go back and I update my blog posts in terms of Pinterest marketing tips, tutorials, guides. And so I want to be pushing people to those blog posts consistently as well. So you can see that this new SmartPin feature, it's really going to save you a lot of time and energy. And one thing that's so amazing about Tailwind is that they have this bandwidth that small businesses or creators don't have. And what I mean by that is they have lots of people utilizing their platform and creating content. And so they are able to analyze accounts and they just have a different perspective of what's working with Pinterest, and they can see common trends. So when you are thinking about giving Tailwind that ability to create your pins for you, they have AI or artificial intelligence that understands what's working now in terms of best practices and trends on Pinterest. So that gives me a lot of peace of mind when I think about a platform creating my pins for me. And of course, you can view them. You can also switch out the pin. So as it generates these pins, which I'm going to show you in a minute, you can always select the ones that you want to publish, and you don't have to publish ones that you don't want to. But this is going to be a game changer in terms of saving you time and effort. So what I want to do is I want to show you step by step how you can use the SmartPin feature. And there's really two different ways that you can follow the SmartPin. So I'm going to show you these two different ways to create pins through this SmartPin, and then you can choose how you want to do it. And I do want to mention, I am a proud affiliate of Tailwind because I love Tailwind. I have used it from day one in terms of marketing on Pinterest, whether it be my account or my clients' accounts. And now inside my Pinterest Manager Academy, where I am training other people who want to become Pinterest managers, I'm recommending that they use Tailwind for their clients. So if you want to try a free trial of Tailwind, I will link that below in the video description. And as I mentioned before, it is my affiliate link, but I am a huge fan of Tailwind and I am happy to answer any questions that you might have about the platform in the comments. I also do have a few other videos about Tailwind as well. I know some people have questions about following best practices and if schedulers, what that does for your traffic. So some of these other videos that I can link below will answer some of those questions for you as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump over to my Tailwind where I'm going to show you this SmartPin feature.
Okay, so step one, you are going to want to log into your Tailwind account. If you don't have a Tailwind account yet, you can use my affiliate link, which is in this video description, and you can get a free trial today. So once I'm logged in, I am actually going to upload a pin. So remember, there's two ways that you can utilize the SmartPin feature. So the first way is to upload your own pin, and Tailwind actually calls that your seed pin. So I use Canva, and you can check out this YouTube video here if you want to learn more about creating scroll stopping pins. But Tailwind considers that pin that you've already created and optimize your seed pin. So I create my pins inside Canva, then I download them, and then I upload them to Tailwind. So this pin has already been created in Canva. I've already written the title and the description. So you'll see here that it is optimized. So what I'm going to do is I've already added the pin title, the description, and where I want to direct this pin to. So I am going to go ahead and schedule this out, and I'm going to start with the most highly relevant boards. So starting a Pinterest manager business, Pinterest management, side hustles, work from home jobs. So I already know off the top of my head the 4 boards that it would be very relevant to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on, and you can see interval here. This is going to go out once a week. I'm going to click on schedule. And you can see here, this pops up. So you're going to have the ability to use the SmartPin feature after you schedule out that seed pin. So this pin was directed to my Pinterest Manager Academy lead magnet. So it's essentially a free download if you're interested in becoming a Pinterest manager. So you'll see it gives you this information. You can see here it's in beta. So introducing SmartPin, our AI-powered fresh pin generator. Just add your page's URL and SmartPin will create designs and copy for your pins. So all you have to do is approve and schedule. With a more consistent schedule of fresh pins, you can boost your reach with little effort. So this is something I would recommend doing, is adding keywords and phrases. I have lots of other YouTube videos about how to do keyword research for your business and niche. So be sure to check those out if you're thinking, okay, I have no idea where to get started or what words to use or what to add here. And I do want to mention too, even if you know keywords that your audience might be using or looking for on Google or here on YouTube or on Instagram or TikTok, because even social media platforms have become more search-based, I still highly recommend you doing your keyword research on Pinterest, because Pinterest is a visual search engine. So the way people approach the platform and the mindset they have and what they're looking for and what they're searching is going to be different platform to platform. So I highly recommend, if you've never done your keyword research, that you do it on Pinterest and follow some of the YouTube tutorials that I have here on my channel. So I am going to add keywords, and I do know a lot of the keywords that I would want to rank for because I've been marketing my business on Pinterest for a while. So some of them would be Pinterest manager, Pinterest management, virtual assistant, Pinterest PA, work from home, jobs. Oops. Work from home jobs. Spelling does matter when you are using keywords. Work from home jobs. Let's see. Jobs for moms. Okay, let's get started with that. So I'm gonna click on Add SmartPin. And remember, this is one way to do it from that seed pin or that pin that I had already created and optimized. So that is one way to do it. So I got that pin scheduled. Now when I go to my SmartPin, now this is the other way to do it. So I'm gonna click on SmartPin, which was up there at the top. Now, when I go to my SmartPin, I previously only had 2 links before, or 2 of these boxes, and it was to my Pinterest Manager training and to my secret podcast. But because I just uploaded that seed pin, I now have this way that I can essentially create fresh pins for this evergreen content or pins to my lead magnet. So if I want to go back, I can go to Pin Scheduler, and I could schedule another seed pin, and then it is going to populate again, and it can ask me if I want to consistently make new pins or fresh pins for that link, or I can just click on this smart pin again, and it's going to take me to this page. Now, if you are on this page and you want to add an additional link or an additional place where you want to send traffic and it's going to be evergreen, you could click on add a new smart pin, and you're going to see this same page come up just like after I scheduled that seed pin. Or I can just click on one of these and click on get a pin now. Now, if I click on edit keywords, you can edit this at any point in time, and it's going to allow you to edit those keywords that you added initially. Now, one thing that's really cool too is you'll see in a second, I'm going to click on get a pin now. Tailwind is consistently reading that page and optimizing the pins. So as you update that landing page, that blog post, wherever you're directing that pin to, that product, Tailwind is reading that page. So if you've made changes, the pins that they're creating for you will reflect those changes, if that makes sense. So it's not going to make a pin for, a blog post that's outdated. If you updated the blog post, then it's going to be reflected on that pin. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to click on, let's see here. Let's click on get a pin now for this lead magnet. And so it will tell you here, I'm going to move my video, it's making posts for you. And this does take, I didn't time it, maybe 30 seconds to as long as a minute and a half. And the reason for that being is it's making pins based off of the information that's on that page. So it's taking into consideration the images, the words you're using, the colors. And so it takes a second for Tailwind to populate that information and then create the pins for you. And then it's going to give you a notification like it did here, pin creation complete. And then you can click on review pin. And you'll see here, it took a picture that was on my landing page for that lead magnet and turned it into a pin. Now, one thing I will say that I noticed, because this is actually a pin that was created from the SmartPin as well, this is for my secret podcast, that the color, I don't know if it exactly matches my skin tone, but I use a lot of pinks, light pinks, blues. As you can see, this one right here that says Pinterest SEO tutorial for beginners. Those are my brand colors. So I will say one thing I'm noticing about SmartPin is that the colors aren't exactly on point with my branding, but maybe it would be an interesting thing to test going outside the box a little bit, right? As Tailwind rolls this out to all accounts, you are going to have the ability to edit the colors, the text or font, and then also the picture. So if you have multiple pictures on your blog post or your landing page or on your product page, you'll be able to select a different picture, change up the colors, because as I said, this brown, I'm like, don't know that I love that. You can also click on change pin design, but what I noticed was that it still is using that brown. Now, this could be an interesting test depending on your business and niche. I've noticed with photography and a lot of fashion that you'll see pins on Pinterest that don't have any text overlay, have no branding. That could be an interesting test. However, for my business, my niche, I do think that text overlay is important, so it gives people context. Rather than like with fashion and photography, it's a little bit different. So like I said, it really just depends on your business and niche, but I always use text overlay on my pins. Now, I guess if I wanted to just test it, I could test this one right here. That's just an image. I kind of like this one, from passion to profit, Pinterest success, turn your passion into income. From passion to profit, Pinterest success. So I could select one of these. I don't like how this circles like on my face, so I would probably select this one, and you can change out that pin and you'll see it swaps it out for you. Then you can read the title, the description. Let's see, Passion to Profit Pinterest. I think I would add in Pinterest management success. So you can also edit the pin title. Then I can read the description. And as I mentioned, it's populating that title and description for you based off of where you're directing the pin to, so that URL, but then also those keywords that you have added in, which you can edit at any point in time if you want to. And then of course it also has that URL. So I can choose, oops, Pinterest. Work from home jobs. Now, I want to point out one thing that I'm sharing about the boards I'm selecting to pin this pin to. As I mentioned, I teach about Pinterest marketing, but I have a heavy focus on, and really what I'm focusing most on within my business is teaching people how to become Pinterest managers. So start their own freelance Pinterest management business. But when people come to Pinterest, some people are going to be, and this is important to know, no matter where you're at with your business, but just having this perspective, some people are going to come to Pinterest who are problem aware, and some are going to come to Pinterest who are solution aware. So for example, if people in my audience, or that I think would be in my audience, are problem aware, they know that they need a side hustle and they're a mom, or they want a work from home job because they are a mom and they want to work from home and have freedom and flexibility. So they know that they want a job that they can do from home. So that would be problem aware. Now, if somebody is solution aware, they know that Pinterest management is a thing, that it's a career that you can do from home, and they just want to learn more about becoming a Pinterest manager. So you can see even these boards, half of those starting a Pinterest manager business, Pinterest management, those are really solution focused. The side hustles for moms, work from home job ideas, those would be problem aware. So you can see how I kind of have that divided up, and I highly recommend taking that same approach when you're creating boards. So not to go on a board tangent here, but I thought that that was a kind of a good opportunity to slide in a pro tip there. And I do have another really great YouTube video about optimizing your Pinterest boards, which you can watch, and I will link below in this description. So I'm going to go ahead though for now, and I'm going to schedule this out, and you can see it here in my schedule. So voila, that is SmartPin. It is super duper easy to use. I am excited to have even more updates with the tool, so that, like I said, you can change the color if you want to, the fonts and the picture. But I'm really excited to see how this evolves, and I think it's going to be a game changer in terms of saving time and effort. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, it is so important to consistently be creating fresh pins. And even if you are directing pins back to a link that's already been shared on the platform, that's okay to do, but you do want to create fresh pins consistently. And that's something that I actually do right away. So let's say one of my clients is like, hey, Emily, I worked with a lot of teachers, pay teacher sellers. Hey, Emily, I just created a new blog post, and it's about the top 15 things teachers need to do at the end of the school year with their students. So as I'm creating this YouTube video, we're in March, and the end of the school year is right around the corner. So if they just publish that blog post, I want to get pins pushed out for that right now. And when I do that, I don't just create one pin, I create multiple pins for that one URL. Because when you create multiple pins for that one link, you can use different text and take different angles, use different hooks. And that really just creates more opportunity. And you can also see what's resonating with your audience in terms of keywords, pin design, and it gives you a greater chance of being discovered, obviously, rather than having one pin for that entire blog post. So this is something that I do regardless for my clients, and now Tailwind is just making it that much easier for us to create more of those pins. And I will say, with anything that is utilizing AI, it's something that you're going to want to review and just not totally, automate, but like look at the title, the description, see if there is a small tweak you want to make. Regardless, even if there's some updates you need to tweak, it still is going to save you time. So definitely let me know if you have any questions about this, if you're going to try it. And yeah, I hope you found this helpful.
So if you're anything like me, you are geeking out about this new SmartPin feature. I can't wait for you to try it. I did have it rolled out to my account early because I am a huge fan of Tailwind and they wanted me to have access to it and be able to share with my audience how amazing it is. So let me know if you're gonna try it. Don't forget to check out my Tailwind link below if you want to try your free trial of Tailwind today, and let me know what questions you have. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another episode about how to market on Pinterest or all things Pinterest management. So I can't wait to see you soon in next week's episode. Bye for now.